Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Good Time Movie Reviews. I'm Wyatt. That's JP. And today we're covering a TV show for the first time. We're going to talk
TV
about
show.
The
Yep.
Last of Us Season 2, which we are both coming at from very different angles. JP being someone who has
Yes.
played the games and knows this world. I'm coming in as someone who enjoyed Season 1, having not played any of it, not knowing what's going to
hmm
happen, not knowing what these storylines are. And then season two for me was a rocky experience, I'll say, where
Yeah.
I was excited for as soon as season one ended, I was excited for season two. I was like, I'm excited to see what happens here. It kind of snuck up on me. Watched the first episode. I was like, okay, we're back. Episode two happens, and we'll talk about it. That's the episode
Yep.
of this season.
Yep.
And I thought it was an incredible episode of television, but then I
Mm.
proceeded to not watch the show for a month because I couldn't convince myself to attach back into this franchise. And so I finally have been binge watched the rest of the season. And yeah, I guess I'm struggling to now find regain my traction with this franchise where
Mm.
I never had a foot in the door to begin with because I don't know the storyline. I wasn't attached to the game. I just thought the first season was good. Season two or
Yeah.
episode two of this season happens. Joel dies. Shot. I know, like we'll talk about my
Yeah.
reaction with that in a second, but then I like almost had to take a little break because I'm like, I don't know if I'm attached to the rest of
Yeah.
these characters enough to like keep watching. And then I just got busy and never watched. Um, and I just don't know if it ever fully recovered for me to a point where I wouldn't say like I'm excited for the next season. I'm not like dying, like I need more. So that's kind of where I'm at broadly, and we can talk about the season as a
Okay. Yeah.
whole and more specifically. But how about you? What was your experience with season two?
Yeah. So I've played both games. It's now called Part One and Part Two. A little frustrating because the first game came out in like 2013, and the second one came out during COVID.
Okay.
So imagine the reaction of what happens in Episode Two. Imagine that during COVID when everyone has nothing better to do but bitch about it
Yeah.
online. It's been a weird track record with this story in terms of its fans. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. But I played both games, so I know what happens in season 3, and apparently this is very frustrating. The second game is twice as long as the first game, maybe a little bit longer. Craig Mazin just revealed that he's going to do a season 4 of this show. You've got to be kidding me. You can do part 2 in you can do this second game in 2 seasons. I fully understand why splitting it into 2 seasons and splitting it right where they did. Absolutely. I agree with where they ended this season.
Interesting.
Three seasons? Are you kidding me? No. No.
I saw that. I
That's a
saw that
joke.
article, and I almost tweeted about it. I'm like, this is just an easy way to like guarantee yourself a job. Be like, because his quote was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
like this story
Yeah.
can't be resolved in 2 seasons. We need another one." And by saying that, you're like, "Oh, I have another job," because they're gonna let you at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
point. They're just gonna ride the coattails of season one and
It's
get greenlit.
it's job
Yeah.
security, it's more
Mm-hmm.
revenue, and it's HBO, as in Warner Brothers, cutting their budget. They went from 10 episodes to 7. They're going to do another 7, and in season 4, I bet it's going to be 4 fucking episodes. Like it's that frustrating that they're doing an extra
Yeah.
season after the one that's going to come out. And that's going to be 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
That's going to be like 4 or 5 years
I'll
in
be
the future.
30. I'll be 30 by the time
Where
this show wraps up.
well, the actors are going to be too
Yeah,
old
that's a good
themselves.
point.
Cuz I don't want to talk about who they might
For other
cast
seasons.
next
Let's talk about season
season.
two.
Let's talk about season 2. But yeah, sorry. That's just a whole thing. Season 2. Um it is weird watching an adaptation. Cuz like I did not read the Harry Potter books. I watched the movies first. So this is my first ever I know what's about to happen and no one else
Mm.
does. I'm surprised how many people are HBO fans that haven't played the game. Like
Yeah.
you, I fully expected, because you're like, have you seen Last of Us? I'm like, oh, he's played the game.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I didn't know this. And I was like, oh shit. So it's been super weird because it's a weird adaptation. It's very different from the game. Very different. Not just in story, but like in approach and how the characters do anything.
Mhm.
I really like how the show changed a lot of things because I did not like the game. The second game. I did not like it. For many reasons, but there's a lot of flashbacks in the game that are super. It breaks up the game
Yeah.
pretty well, but it also kind of drags everything out a little too long. So this season put all the flashbacks into 2 episodes. Episode 1, you don't really see what happens that night until deep into the game. It's really frustrating. They talk about it all the time, and you don't really get to go there until
The
way
porch
deep
scene,
into the story.
basically.
Not just the porch scene, yes, but like the party,
Yeah.
the New Year's party. You don't see it. You don't see what happens. Like the game starts with her waking up the next morning and them being like, wow, Joel was acting really weird and you were acting really weird and you kissed Dina. What's up with that? And it's like, okay, am I going to see any of that?
Yeah.
And you do later. But so I'm glad that was episode 1. Episode 1 was a breath of fresh air. Episode 2, very well made. I thought that was going to be episode 1 because that's how the game works.
Okay.
It's early.
So were you
And
wait
then
like after episode 1 airs, are you like, wait a second, are they gonna do something weird and like hold it off till like the very end? Or like did you know it was gonna you
no,
feel like all right, it's gotta be the next one then?
it was as soon as episode 1 ended, I was like, oh wow, they pushed it off a week.
Okay.
Bravo. Like I yeah, it was just okay, it's going to be next week. But I'm surprised they did not put it in the season premiere. And then what episode was it? Was it 6? The second to last episode where it was all the flashbacks. That episode is better than the game. It just straight up is. There are a lot of flashbacks in the game of Ellie finding out what happened in the first game. And they're kind of sprinkled throughout. I think it's been a while since I played the game, but all the time jumps, like in the game, she goes back to Salt Lake City. That's
Whoa.
fucking impossible in the show world. The way the threats are, how dangerous everything is really elevated compared to the game. Because in the game, you kill like 50 people every level.
Yeah.
Like you are a killing machine. So in the game, it's like, oh, she could just go to Salt Lake City. Like it kind of takes a long time, but she could just go. So for the show to be like, no, she's in Jackson that whole time. So much better. Oh my gosh. And the whole what's his name? Is it Gale? The dude, Joey Pants. The guy Joey Pants plays.
I don't
In that episode. That gets infected. He's married to the psychiatrist.
What I think it what's his name?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The actor is Joey Pants. Joey Pants.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wait, is he Memento?
That is not in the game.
Is he that guy?
Yes, he's
Memento. That's where I like as soon as he
Memento.
popped up on screen, I'm like, why? He's the older version of somebody I know, and that's okay. Yeah. Good.
He's the king of it's that guy. He's that guy.
He's that guy.
So it's always fun when he's in a movie. But yeah, that whole thing is not in the game. Oh. So again, keeping it in Jackson for all of the flashbacks. Thank you. Like that is actually a huge improvement to the game. So those like 3 episodes, I was like, this is great.
And then everything else.
Yeah. So the worst part of the game is you playing as Ellie in Seattle with Dina. That's the worst part of the game.
And
everything else in the game is actually pretty good, surprisingly good. So I'm going to actually tell you, season 3 is probably going to be better than season 2 on
Okay.
average. On
Does
average.
and is that does
Yeah.
that follow? Is it just going to follow Abby?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh
we're
yeah.
just seeing Abby through those days in Seattle.
3
3
days.
days in
Yep.
Seattle. Okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
what's the I'm just interested in like the fan reaction because I see a lot of people very upset. They
Oh, it's
hate
it's bad.
casting a lot. The casting is
Yeah.
getting people up in arms, which I always think is so stupid. Like whatever. But
Yeah.
what are your
This
thoughts
is
on the casting?
so the online reaction to Joel dying during COVID was fucking awful. It was embarrassing to like say that you like Last
Yeah.
of Us. It was embarrassing. This is worse. This is way worse. The Last of Us fandom is the most toxic fandom. Well, I still think Star Wars is a little bit worse. But actually, no, because during COVID, they were sending death threats to the actress that played Abby.
What?
So
Endeavor?
all the
Or
no
in
no
the
no no no
show?
no no no
Or in the sorry, in
the
the game, the
video game
video game.
actress,
The
the
video
video
game
game
at the
actress.
voice?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
So the whole hate was Joel died and this character killed him. So we hate her. So we're gonna be super toxic with everything around that character. So that actress had to delete their social media, very similar to Star Wars,
We're so dumb.
and
AI is
all
gonna
that
take us
stuff.
over. We
It's
deserve it at that point. That's
it's
we're
so it's
stupid.
so embarrassing. And so I was expecting that for this show. It's like, look, I love Caitlin Dever. She's in a lot of really good shows or a lot of really
Yeah.
good movies. Like I think she's in Booksmart. Really like her. This is going to be her big break, and I think she deserves it. She should delete social media. That was my thought process going into the show. I'm sure Neil Druckmann, who wrote the games, wrote the show. I'm sure he pulled her aside and was like, look, heads up. Like she had to know
Yeah.
going in. This Bella Ramsey thing, though, is a whole nother level. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's, they shouldn't be blaming her. So it's an adaptation. It's very different from the game. Like Ellie in Last of Us Part 2, the game, is a killing machine. She doesn't care about anybody. Like Dina, the best example are the comparisons online of when Dina's like, I'm pregnant. In the game, Ellie's like, you're just going to be a burden now. Like, this is a problem.
Yeah.
In the show, very different. So the show is going in a different direction. Whether that's effective and whether the way they reveal like the tone of it, that's up to critique. But to be like, it's not the game. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not the game. Like,
I
yeah.
just as a whole now, who who's this for at this point? If you have the video game lovers
Mm.
hate this show, and from my standpoint, someone who's not attached to video games, this season didn't do enough to like story wise to keep me invested. Where it's like
Mm.
I don't know if it can recover. To be honest, that's just where I like that's it
No,
feels very pessimistic, but I don't know
no.
if it can recover from.
Well, they've already reported on the ratings. The ratings are way down
Mhm.
on this season finale versus the first season finale. The ratings are way down. Season 3, the ratings are going to be even lower, even though I think it's the quality is going to be better unless they do like 6 episodes or something. I think the quality will be better. But
Yeah.
no, I think this show is going to limp to its finale.
Mhm.
It's not going to be a huge success from here on
Could it
out.
be one of those things where you look back and you're like, season 2 was a bump in the road, but it stuck the landing? Like, is there enough story there to like, oh, like we can look back and be like, hey, season 2, like they kind of fumbled a little bit, but they got it back. And I know not the ratings weren't as good, but at least quality wise, like it did well enough.
It's there's not enough story because season 2 is half the game.
Yeah.
So there's not enough story unless they like introduce a lot of shit. Cuz so here's my actually biggest complaint about season 2. And this is based on the game. When you're playing as Ellie, you don't know what's going on at all in Seattle. You know nothing. So you show up and like there's this war
Yeah.
going on, but really for the game when you're playing it, it's like the enemies wear different clothes, they kind of move around a little different, and they use different weapons. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it's like there's shit going on that doesn't matter. I'm here to kill like these 5 people and get out. In the show, all the cold opens are like, here's Isaac. These are what the scars are. These are what the wolves are. We should not care. We shouldn't even
Yeah.
know about that because we're supposed to be with Ellie, who doesn't know and shouldn't care. So when we move to Abby for season 3 in the game, that's when you find out all that shit. That's when you like actually start hearing about what the hell's
Yeah.
going on. That's when you meet Isaac. So it's like all this shit about us seeing the wolves and like hearing from them and following their stories. What is season 3 going to be? Because we've already established
Yeah.
that. It's like we're wasting so much time in the wrong places. Especially, and I know everyone's bitching about the scene, and I think they should actually. The season finale when Ellie's on the boat in the show, waves crash, she goes on the island, she's almost killed, and then she leaves the island. 5 minutes. You were wasting
Yeah.
5 minutes of your show for jack shit. It's that where it's like, why are we spending so much time on things we're supposed to spend enough time later? It's you're cramming and you're rushing for this season so you have more time next season. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really confusing.
Yeah. And I do like there are aspects of this show like questions it asks that are interesting to me, and like even you have that towards the end, it might be the final episode, who's the guy who gets shot at the end, very end,
Uh
who's the dad of
Jesse.
Jesse.
It's like
Yeah.
Jesse.
So
Yeah. I almost said Glenn.
he has this like kind of, they have that argument on the rooftop, and he's like this isn't our war,
Yeah.
or like we got to think about the community, and Ellie's like my community died. Like I thought that scene was awesome because that's like two
Yeah.
humans are
Yeah.
like you keep talking about the
Yeah.
community, fuck the community, like that was my community, like what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And then it creates like some really
Yeah.
interesting questions of like who, like this isn't my war, why should I protect this? But Ellie's like they're killing kids, like we should on a human
Yeah.
standpoint try to do something about that. So it asks interesting questions. I don't know, just something about it didn't, it lost.
It doesn't spend the time to sit with the
Yeah.
questions. The fact that that interaction happens in the last episode, like that kind of gives away the problem of that is they don't really say it out loud, or they don't really address it until like the last possible minute.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And I think the weakest part of the show and the game is Ellie and Dina. That dynamic is like in the game, Dina is nothing but a love interest. Like she is barely a character. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that. She's the weakest character in the whole game. And so when they cast Isabella
Mersad. She's
Mersad,
awesome, by the way.
she's a great actress. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
thank God they're putting it in good hands. And then like they gave her a lot of character stuff, but I'm sitting there, it's like I feel like half the reason they're still in Seattle is because of Dina, not Ellie, and that makes no sense. Like that whole like backstory that she said, it's like I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of that. But also I'm an adaptation guy. Like if it's different from the game, I just have to accept that. She's a very different character, and I wanted her to be a different character. But still that dynamic is kind of the weakest dynamic in the show. Still.
Yeah. I just I wonder if there's any way for adaptations like this to like fully work across the board, because you're either A,
Yeah.
going to do a complete copycat of the game, and then people who love the game are going to be like, oh yeah, this is great because like this is what I'm used to. And any tweak you
Mhm.
make is going to get criticized immediately. Like they're not going to
Yeah.
question like, oh, does this work better because it's a TV show? They're going to be like, that's not what I saw in the game, so that's wrong. And it may take them a
Yeah.
second, maybe they'll come around, but you're always feels like the pitchforks are always ready for
Yes, they are.
people who are
They are.
adapting things. So it's like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know how you win. I don't.
Well, you put a lot of effort into it. And with Warner Brothers and HBO cutting budgets, that is not what is going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to like fully plan it out. And also, you're right, the video game to screen adaptation is the worst kind of adaptation. Cuz at least when you're reading a book and then it's on the screen, it's like, wow, it's just like I imagined
Yeah.
it. Video game to screen is like, I can't move Ellie. I can't move her. Why is she not killing 50 people right now? I can do that. So it's like, it's really hard, even for a very narrative heavy game like Last of
Yeah.
Us.
No, it'll be
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah, I struggle to get excited for season 3. I'll probably watch it, but it's just it'll have to win me over, and I don't see a path where it does, to be honest.
I will say give it a chance.
I will. I got I got a
but
year at least.
You got
Yeah.
2.5. You have 2.5 years.
Remind me. I'll come back to this episode in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, I'm saying it will be worth it as a video game player, but Abby's a very different character than the video game version. So in the video game, you play the first game as Joel, I would say 80% of the time. It's a short game, but you play mostly as Joel. In the second game, Abby plays very similar to Joel. There's a lot of parallels in terms of gameplay, which is why I liked that part more. There were things that would pop up, and it's like, oh, it's like Last of Us. Even though I'm playing the sequel to fucking Last of Us, I'm like, oh, it's like Last of Us. Which is why I like that part, what season 3 is going to be a lot more. But with the show, Abby is a lot more like Ellie. So the game, Abby's like Joel. In the show, Abby's like Ellie. So it's going to be a very different season 3.
Interesting.
Than what I am imagining. All right. So we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Anything else you want to bring up for the show before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it.
Sweet. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts on The Last of Us Season 2. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.